I can't hold my tongue. These kids are my grandchildren, and you are raising them wrong. They are terrible boys.
Well, this video won't be getting monetized. Before we get to this video, make sure you hit like, share my videos, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Also, make sure that your notifications are on and they're set to all. Now, let's get into this. But first, quick commercial break. Noble Gold Investments is pleased to let you know that gold is the best investment class for 2022. Real estate, crypto, stocks, and bonds, gold outperformed all of them in 2022. So what are you waiting for? Noble Gold Investments have helped thousands of clients buy real physical gold. Open a gold IRA or a silver IRA with Noble Gold Investments this month and receive a free 1/4 ounce American Gold Eagle coin with every qualifying IRA of $50,000. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold, and there are thousands of 5-star reviews. And if you're not ready to invest, download the Noble Gold Investments Gold Investment Guide. Scroll down below and you'll find the link in the description box. For mobile users, click the More button to find the link. Now, let's get to this video. What's going on, America? Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. And guys, I was trying to do my best to stay away from this. I mean, I was working on a video from one of my live streams, and this kept popping up on my timeline. So I said, you know what? Let me click on it and see exactly what is going on. As you can see from the thumbnail, this is former big for nothing basketball player Dwayne Wade and his rich wife that is standing here at the NWACP. Apparently, they are receiving some type of award. And they use this opportunity to come out and talk about a very sensitive topic that is surely important to black folks in the movement and the betterment of us. And this is what they had to say. And I frankly cannot hold my tongue no more, okay? As a black man, I just can't do it. It's greater than me. So even if this video is suppressed or doesn't get monetized, it's worth it. Now let's get into this mess.
I want to take this moment to publicly speak to our daughter, Zaya. Zaya, as your father, all I've wanted to do was get it right. I've sat back and watched how gracefully you've taken on the public scrutiny. And even though it's not easy, I watched you walk out of that house every morning as yourself. I admire how you've handled the ignorance in our world. I admire it.
Oh, hear that? I mean, I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about he wanted to raise his son to be himself, and I have to question what his definition of being yourself is. It appears to me that there's a little identity crisis going on within his son, or even within Dwayne Wade, because the last I checked, most kids don't know who they are until they get a lot older. Do you understand? Little kids imagine being all kind of stuff, or they never really find themselves. They don't really walk into their comfort zone. They don't step into their confidence and stuff like that until they go through a period. I mean, when I was, in 7th or 8th grade, hit puberty, everything sucked. Life sucked. My parents sucked. You know, I'm like, you know what? Nobody loves me. You know, I wish I was never born. A whole bunch of that. Once you come out of those phases, then you start realizing what it takes to be yourself. As a certain age, you're looking at everything to try to develop an identity. That is why peer pressure works so well when you're around that age. That is why you see some trends kick in where people decide, well, since Prince just came out, I'm going to walk around with a big Prince hat now and put a little lace on my wrist and stuff. That's a phase. Michael Jackson drops a video. Then you're going out and getting a beaded jacket with all the zippers and the Thriller jacket. If you couldn't afford the leather, you get the pleather. But you're not really being yourself. You are living vicariously through people who are appealing, people who are popular or famous, or the latest fad. Just like this big uptick in young children deciding that they're transgender, or they're the opposite sex, or they're gender neutral, whatever this stuff is. Now, you have to understand, why would that uptick be happening? Especially when this term was not even in existence a few years ago. So if this was really an issue that the kids were dealing with, they would have known it years ago. But since adults have come out and supported this and start spreading this, and then of course wants kids to embrace this, notice the trend. All of a sudden, all these kids just going in like, me too. I mean, you know, I think I am too. Could it be that the adults are responsible for this, and yet adults aren't responsible enough to know that kids don't know what it means to be themselves? Okay, but that's what he says. He says that's all I ever wanted. And you're brave to be going out there. Now, let's go ahead and I'm gonna try to get through this, without stopping, because this is a sensitive topic for me, okay?
To say that your village is proud of you is an understatement. Thank you for showing me that there's more than just one way to communicate effectively. You've taught me that communication with my mouth isn't enough.
And see, that's a problem. See, first of all, he's saying the village is proud of you. What village are you talking about? Maybe he's talking about family. I wonder if he included his ex-wife who is not okay with this. Because apparently somebody in the family still got some sense. Okay. Maybe Hollywood done got to these two. I don't know what has influenced this man to become big for nothing. But yeah, he's talking about the village. Now, if you go back to a good old-fashioned grandmama or grandpapa, like, you know, the video started off, I can't hold my tongue. These boys are terrible kids and you're raising them all wrong. I wonder how his grandmama, grandfather, some of those people feel about this decision right here. Maybe they've all been affected by Hollywood, but nonetheless, I doubt if the whole village is embracing this, but he is. And then he's thanking his son for teaching him something. Now, see, that's where he went wrong because he just got here, can't tell, been here, nothing. You should be teaching your son some things. You should have enough wisdom to say, son, I know you might feel this right now, but I guarantee you, you'll feel differently in about 4 or 5 years. I know when I was in like the 8th grade, I thought my heart was broken. I can't live without her. How can she do this to me? You know what? Life can't go on. Son, in a couple months from now, you won't even remember her name. And that's exactly what happened. So here's this man talking about you've taught me some things. But what are you teaching your son is my question. Who's running the house? Oh, it's Gabrielle. My bad. Here we go.
I have to also communicate with my 2 ears and my 2 eyes.
Yeah,
as your father, my job isn't to create a version of myself or direct your future. My role is to be a facilitator to your hopes, your wishes, and your dreams.
Basically, to allow you to make up the rules, do whatever you want to do. But that's why you're a child. That's why you are under the care of an adult. That's why you can't go off and just do things until you're about 18 or until you move out. For the simple fact, we understand you're too young and too immature to make good choices. See, so if you're going to apply that theory to this young man who feels he was a girl, then you have to apply it to everything in his life. That young man should be old enough to make every decision for the household. If you're just listening to him and being a facilitator, if he decides, you know what, I want to get on drugs, that's cool. I'm just facilitating. I'm not here to, stop you from living out your truth. I'm just want to hear your opinion and your view. I'm here to communicate, and maybe you could teach me how to snort something or inject things into me. Obviously, you're the parent. That's what it sounds like. So here's this man talking about, I'm not here to duplicate myself, and you, yes, you are. Maybe he need to study some of those wild nature programs. When you look at the males, they usually will come in and say, you know what? I want to create the best offspring. I want to duplicate myself in this female lion, this wolf, or whatever. And guess what? The females be saying the same thing. I don't want the scrawny, weak father. I don't want that weak, softcore, sickly wolf over in the corner scratching. No, I don't want that. I want a mangy wolf. I don't want the lion over there and he got a crooked, mane on top of his head and one tooth missing and he's coughing up blood. They don't want that. They want a lion that will protect, show the young lions and lioness how to be strong, how to be brave. They want that. They don't want a lion that allows the little cubs to do whatever they want, go wherever they want. He won't protect them. He's not an example for them. And that is why these lions and other animals come in and they say, you know what? When I hook up with somebody, I want to see myself in these cubs, in these wolves, in these puppies, all of that. I'm not okay seeing something else in them besides me. I want to produce the best offspring that I can. Now here he is. He done passed down the physical genes to this young man. So this young man might grow up and be like 6'6", 6'7". He done passed down the physical characteristics, but he ain't passing down the morality. He ain't passing down the wisdom. Nah, he's been co-opted by this narrative that's being pushed into his brain, or perhaps he's even living vicariously through his son. I don't know. But the attributes and characteristics that he should be passing down, even outside of his physical genes, this dude ain't doing. Now, if you're a raggedy father, then yeah, you don't want that passed down. If you are a drug addict, crazy, violent, all of that stuff, then maybe somebody else should, be influencing that kid. But if you are supposed to be a good father with some common sense, you need to identify when your kid is going off the rails and you drive them back over. You don't let them just go over the cliff and support that mess talking about I was letting them be themselves. Because see, I'm not the father. I'm just here to facilitate them doing whatever they want, even though they're underage. That's ridiculous. And it's going to get crazier as we go on. I'm trying not to go off on this clip right here. And I ain't mad at the kid because the kid is only doing what the parents allow him to do.
Zaya, you've made me a better human.
A better
just
human.
Simply by being who you were born to be, a
What?
baby girl.
Oh God. See, y'all hear that? See, this shows me that somebody got to this man Now, I don't know if it's Gabrielle. I don't know if it's the industry. I don't know. But somebody done co-opt his common sense in his brain. Okay, so here he is, which you were meant to be. Okay, a baby girl. Just that simple. And apparently this young man knows that. And he does too, even though he doesn't know it. Because if he was to backtrack just a little bit before he became famous and rich and start hooking up with this chick and all of that stuff, if he was just to go back a couple years, maybe even 10 when he was in the league, when Zaya was just born, if somebody would have said, you know what, man, you just had a baby girl, he would have been like, what are you talking about? I haven't become crazy yet. See, I haven't become crazy. That's in the future. You're not identifying this correctly. That apple stem means he's a little boy. But yet here he is talking about that, what you were meant to be, a baby girl. Back then, he would have got mad at the doctor if the doctor would have said, well, we got something here. I have no idea what it is, though. I'm pretty sure by the time it's like 12, it will let you know, Dad, what it is. He would have thought that was crazy. But for some reason, as time goes on, somebody done got to his common sense, and now he's talking about what you were meant to be, a baby girl. Well, okay, then I was meant to be an airplane. I was meant to be a rabbit. I was meant to be a hummingbird. I was meant to be all kind of stuff. Hey, I was meant to be a natural born killer. Meant to be a drug addict. You know what? I was meant to be a murderer. I was meant to be all of these things, and don't you come checking me, Dad, because I was born this way. It's greater than me. It has nothing to do with choice. Nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with peer pressure or the environment that you put me in that supports this type of stuff. It has nothing to do with that, okay? This is greater than you, Dad, so I don't want to hear any discipline. I don't want to see no guidance. I don't want to hear you dropping wisdom on me. I don't want to hear you saying, let this pass, son, because it's greater than you. I was meant to be this way. Nothing chooses what it's meant to be, regardless of what it is. I mean, a car doesn't choose to be a car. Anything that man makes, it becomes whatever man makes it to be. The tree doesn't decide, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to be a tree. I'm going to choose to be a tree instead of a boat. No, what ends up happening is nature defines it, or in my belief, God creates it, and you are what you are. The difference between us and objects that are either in nature or objects that man create is that man should be smart enough to be the only species that recognizes what they are. But for some reason now, we're too dumb to recognize what we are. So the dog doesn't say, well, you know what we are? We're dogs. Rabbits don't say we're rabbits. Airplanes don't say we're airplanes. But humans should be able to say, well, not only am I a human, but I'm also a male human and I'm a female human. And this dude apparently was meant to be dumb. Here's his wife too, backing up all of that stupidity.
Zaya Wade. So, baby, thank you for showing the world what courage looks like. I'm proud that I was chosen to stand in place as your father. And thank you so much to the NWACP for this incredible honor. So, I'm proud that I just stand in place as your dummy. Yeah, that's what he's doing right about now. He's standing in place as a puppet being used for this bigger agenda. And he and his wife are being used to influence the black community, which is sad because most black people are not cool with this narrative right here. Maybe out in Hollywood, yeah, but in the real hood, you go to door and start saying, yeah, man, do you believe this crap? Did you see them? Do you believe and support that? They would be like, man, get out my crib. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I might be tricked into supporting stuff against false accusations of racism, but this, no, man, I'm not on that. So they need somebody to bridge that gap, somebody to be the face of this whole narrative to lump these people into the civil rights movement. They want black folks to look at this group of people and say, yeah, their struggle and their plight is worth me investing all of my time and energy and becoming an activist and lumping this in with the same struggle that we had during slavery, during Jim Crow, and all of that stuff. So who better to use than these two big dummies right here? Okay, and here comes Dummette. Y'all ready for Dummette? She's even better than Dummy.
Thank you, Derek and the NAACP. It's humbling to stand here surrounded by friends and heroes.
Yeah.
All working to advance the lives of black people and pay respect to an organization that has led us through over a century of relentless challenge, pain, triumph, and change.
Well, that's very objective because, see, the NAACP seems to be a big crutch for black people right about now, especially when they're holding the words and bringing you out there and your big for nothing husband to go ahead and appeal to black folks to jump on board with these type of narratives and support that. Okay, we already got a shortage of good black men. So we got enough problems in the black community. We don't need another one. Okay, now if this kid grows up and he hits 18 and he decides he's going to do whatever, it is what it is. But what they're doing now is they're going way beyond that. They want to get them while they're young. See, me they want this to become an issue for black folks to jump on board and get mad over. No, man. Let me tell you something. Every person is responsible for their own choices. You're the sum total of your own decisions. This whole new fad and wave and narrative of, hey, it's greater than us and you were born what you were meant to be. No, I'm not buying that. Okay. You're the sum total of your own choices. And when you start talking about you don't have to be accountable for your own choices, your own thoughts, all of that stuff, you're opening up a can of worms that you don't want to eat. You understand that? So instead of these folks accepting that and just saying, you know what, my kid might be a little confused right now, but I'm not going to encourage that. Instead of doing that, what do? Oh, you mean to tell me we can stay relevant? I'm not playing basketball no more and she's not getting any acting jobs. Who knows? We might get speaking engagements. We might, be the face that I'm sure white, powerful liberals are putting them out there and saying, we'll make sure you're the face to all the black folks like we do. See, we got our people who appeal to the angry black folks. They're the race baiters. We put your Don Lemons in place and then we put your Al Sharptons in place. We put those people in place. That group is just to appeal to the angry black folks that's interested in racism. And then we'll use you to be the face to all of the folks concerned about transgender rights that we can't really say what rights they're not getting, but it doesn't matter. We'll create a narrative. We'll go ahead and come up with something and we're going to rely heavily on your horrible acting skills, Gabrielle. Now get out there and action.
Now stands with us again at the foot of a very new era of activism.
A
A
new
new era that demands our collective answer to
What?
one simple question.
What
Will
question?
we fight for some or will we fight for all of our people?
Oh.
Let's just name a couple
Like
hard
what?
truths. First, the intersection of black rights and the rights of the LGBTQIA, trans, and gender nonconforming people.
Y'all hear that? That's a new one to all of us black folks. So now we got to add on another issue in the black community. Let me see. We got poor education. We got high crime. We got violence. We got murder. We got drugs and all of that stuff. And now we have to lump on the burden of the LGBTQTRX333 negative 42 never mind. All those letters and numbers and stuff like that. We got to lump that in with us as well. Says Gabrielle. We got us a new fight, y'all. No, that's not my fight. That's not our fight. Okay. See, it's a big difference between being born black versus making a choice to decide how you want to live your life, whether you want to pretend to be a girl or a boy, or all of that stuff, who you sleep with. All of those are choices. But when you get insane folks or that woke crowd that has the gall to try to tell us that these are no longer folks' choices, and we got to pass legislation to protect these folks who believe these are not their choices, it's greater than them. We got to pass legislation for that. No, I'm not buying it. But yet she's trying to get us to buy it. And my gut tells me, outside of this crowd, most black folks are not buying it either.
Continues to be rough. It's a huge understatement.
Rough.
Even as we demand equality at the top of our lungs, we consistently fail to extend our advocacy to protect some of our most vulnerable among us. And
Crickets.
second, black trans people are being targeted, terrorized, and hunted in this country every day.
What?
Everywhere.
Every day and everywhere? What is she talking about? Now, wait a minute. Just a minute ago, we were told that it was black men being hunted every day by white police officers that were just killing them for nothing. Even though the data didn't show that. Remember LeBron James? He's also in this crowd every day. Every day, black men are being hunted by the cops every day and killed for nothing. But then when you look at the stats, it doesn't support that. And yet, I will go so far as to say that that statement that she just made are probably less than the stats that would support cops going after black men and killing them unarmed every day. I'm pretty sure that number is around 0 right here that she's talking about, because if this was happening, she wouldn't have to bring it to our attention. Every single news network would be like, today another transgender black person was shot and killed just because they're transgender. Nobody cares. Everybody's walking around minding their business. We don't look at these folks as strange. Only thing that we say is, don't be trying to shove this mess down our throats, make us believe it's not their choice, and going after the kids. That's all we're saying. Nobody cares how you want to live your life, long as you stay out of women's bathrooms, long as you stay out of women's sports and stuff like that, long as you don't want to tiptoe over into the women's prisons, things like that, common sense things. But according to her, that black LGBTQRX double negative 3 people are being hunted and killed every day. This is news to me. Why aren't we hearing this on CNN or MSNBC, who is constantly hunting for stories like that?
And there's rarely a whisper about it. We
Where? 'Cause
honestly
it's not
don't
happening.
approach this work as activists or leaders as much as we do this as parents. Parents who love our children and will do whatever the hell we can to keep them seen and secure and safe.
Now, do you see these acting skills? Yeah, she went off the script. She tried to freestyle a little bit, and I can tell there was a crack in her armor right there. Yeah. So here she is. What the parents didn't. Well, what about the kid's real mother? She don't have a say so in that because she seems to disagree with this narrative. Okay. See, sometimes money is a blessing, sometimes it's a curse. Sometimes fame is a blessing, sometimes it's a curse. If it drops you in this environment where these people are applauding this stuff and your kids are being influenced heavily because of the liberal environment, then it's a curse. See, so I don't know who she's talking about because, see, I see a lot of parents that are fighting to protect their kids from this as well. I'm seeing a lot of parents who show up at these school board meetings and have something to say about them trying to indoctrinate our kids in the schools. See, but she's not talking about those parents. She's talking about the 0.000000000000001% of the parents that are so woke that they full-blown sleep in the REM sleep, like these two. So apparently she wants us to support that very small minority versus the majority of parents that still got enough sense to say, what are you talking about? You don't need to be in schools talking about this. We don't need to be marching about this stuff. No, we're not buying it. Let's finish this garbage.
This is a conversation worth having in ways that can actually build bridges, right? That don't fan the flames of hatred or division. They don't enable lawmakers or justice systems to look the other way when Black trans people are under attack.
Pull back on the acting, please. Okay, I know it's been a long time since you've been in anything, but good grief, you gotta dust off the rust. So here she is now talking about lawmakers that are, persecuting kids and stopping them. No, you're not trying to protect the kids from making bad choices because they're kids. No, it's not that. It's because your whole goal and agenda is just to be a pain in the butt and to suppress these kids' desire to be what they want and live out their truth. You're trying to make them unexist or something like that? Because the last I checked, it would be very irresponsible as adults and lawmakers to allow kids to make medical decisions that are not something that is an actual medical problem, but it's something that's going on in here. Might be a fad, it might be a mental issue, who knows what it can be. But what it isn't is that this person is trapped in the wrong body because there was a mistake made at conception. See, and therefore, we're going to validate that, knowing that it's not true. So if that's the case, every person is anorexic, bulimic, they're talking about, man, I'm fat, then we should go ahead and encourage them to become skinnier. That's right, even though they might see themselves as fat when they look in the mirror. But then they come into you and say, hey, doc, you know what? I think I'm overweight. I keep sticking my finger down my throat to regurgitate because I think I need to be more skinnier. And that doctor looks at them and says, you're probably right. You probably want to go ahead and break it down to maybe 1 peanut a day. For starters, make sure you throw that one up too. Okay, just go with a water diet for about 18 months and I think you should be okay. Or would that doctor say, I know you see yourself as fat, but you're really not. So instead of treating you with something that will worsen your condition, how about I start reconditioning your mind so you can accept who you are and what you are? See yourself in a different light. Okay, now after that, once you come to the conclusion that, hey, you know what? I'm not fat, but I just want to be in shape. Maybe I want to build muscle or abs or something like that. Then you can be, on a better journey. But as long as you're not accurately assessing how you look or what you are, that's a problem. We need to start right there. Same thing with this, but according to Gabrielle, these legislators are just, I guess, bigots and stuff like that. They're not responsible adults. And people are clapping. Oh, look at that. Look at her. She's like, you see Mad Mac there? She's probably, listen, I want you to put your hands together for this nonsense. You know this is a part of the Democrat platform. Because that dude probably sitting there like, this is a bunch of bull crap. I can't believe it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. We support that mess. Unreal.
They don't drive more young people to hate themselves or harm themselves. They don't cost people their lives. We are hopeful that we may witness a real shift in the fight for justice. The movement makes room for everyone. Everyone. Thank you.
Not room for me. I won't be stepping into that room, dang on it. So here she is. She's saying that these legislators are making kids hate themselves and harm themselves and might lead to death. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if you allow these children to make grown adult decisions, I'm pretty sure later on in life, they'll probably look back and say, what was I thinking? Okay, why would mom and dad allow me to do something like this? Why would these doctors allow me to do something like this? Didn't they know I was 13? Didn't they know I was 12? Oh, so their brains were co-opted by whoever is behind this big push. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it is not the people. This ain't an issue in the black community. This ain't something that we're rallying behind and saying, you know what, we need to support this. This is a big issue. We see it everywhere because we don't. I dare somebody to go out there and find me somebody in a real black neighborhood, not out there in Hollywood, to tell me what is a big issue to you. I mean, when you come out and you're dodging other black folks in your neighborhood shooting, you know, like in out there in Chicago, or, you know, fighting and violence in schools and stuff, do you see them chasing around transgender kids and trying to hurt them? Do you see any of that? No? Okay, so this is a made up issue, and then they're using these two dodo birds to try to push it and make it seem like it's a problem in the black community like they do all the time. When they want to push an agenda and they want minorities to support it, they will go find folks just like this and then try to convince them to convince us that these non-problems are problems in the black community. But in reality, these are part of the agenda of most likely white liberals who want to indoctrinate and persuade minorities to get on board with it. So they elevate black folks like this to be the face of it, to get out there and tell us, you know, it's tough for you guys to get voter IDs. And we're all going, we didn't know that. We had no idea. I thought everybody knew where the BMV was. Yeah, but apparently this is an issue that we didn't know about. Yeah, things like that. Oh, we didn't know that we didn't know how to use the internet like Joe Biden said to find out where to go get the COVID shot, even though, you know, we got kids that know more about playing on the phone and the internet than full-blown adults. But we had no idea this was a problem for us. See, we didn't know these things until you guys said it was a problem for us. And only the foolish would say, well, even though I'm not seeing this in our communities, I guess it is. Well, I guess you're just as dumb as these two people right here. Now, God bless y'all. God bless America. And really, God bless the kid who is a part of this mess, because that kid is being exploited by not only that crowd, not only these folks who are behind this whole pushing this agenda, but also by those two raggedy, and I mean raggedy parents. Big for nothing raggedy. Dang on it, with that bad acting from Gabrielle. Ain't had a job in about 7 years, and here she is trying to muster up some emotions. It was all fake. Dang on it, just like that. Big for nothing. Sorry, I'm trying to let it go, y'all. I'm trying to let it go, but this is a mess. Anyway, listen, I need y'all to subscribe to my other channel. There's a link below this video. Please do that for me ASAP. I need y'all to go over there because a message like this is not going to travel far on this. They might go ahead and make me unexist. I thought they love black people, but they might do that. They might not let me live out my truth, okay, on their platform, even though they're supposed to love black people. So please do that. And also check out all the other links below that will support my channel through my Cash App, my PayPal. Subscribe and follow me on Rumble, and check out my podcast and all that good stuff. Now, God bless y'all. God bless America. And good grief, God, pray for us as people, not just black people, but as humans, because apparently humans have become dumber over time.